ranking the original universe Joe Bros. The issue with this is that there are a lot of characters who fit the Joe Bro description, and I could not find a definitive list of them anywhere. So I've broken it up into two groups. Group A is gonna be the JoJo's best friend, like the character where you look at it and you're like, that is probably the person who JoJo is closest to emotionally during that part. And then in the other list is gonna be like characters who are like mentors or leaders or just like another friend who gets a lot of screen time. That's gonna be Group B. But for today, we're gonna focus on this best friend side, Group A. Once again, with this list, this is pretty much just gonna be my overall thoughts based on that character's appearance within their part. So characters like Speedwagon, who appear in part 1 and 2, only going to consider him for part 1, and characters like Jotaro and Joseph aren't going to count for this list. So starting off at number 6, and losing all of my audience immediately, part 1 Speedwagon. Okay, for the life of me, I can't tell you anything he actually does. I mean, he's cool. He has like his one aura moment where he shows up in Jonathan's house. But aside from the fight on Ogre Street, what does this man actually do? I know that he is physically there during part 1. And like, he's the GOAT, he's Speedwagon, he becomes cool later on, and he founds the Speedwagon Foundation. But like, in part 1, what does he do? What does he contribute to the team? He's not a Hamon user. He's not a particularly good fighter, at least when it comes to like the supernatural stuff. He's good in a street fight, but like he's not doing anything to Dio. He's just there. And I hate to say it because I love Speedwagon, but he is just there in part 1. After that, at number 5, and this one is kind of a toss-up, but I'm gonna have to do Hermes. This is where the part 6 glazing train that I've been doing kind of stops. I don't think Hermes was really a fully realized character. I think she has a really cool backstory. I really liked her fight against Sports Maximum, but I don't know. I think her entire contribution to the part was just, she's really hyper aggressive. She's like, go, go, go. Let's find the priest. Let's fuck him up. And maybe this is like an issue on me because part 6 is the only part that I watched beginning to end in the dub. Like, I'm 25 now. I don't have the patience for reading that I did when I was 16. And maybe it's the voice. Maybe I just didn't like the voice. But I feel like Hermes was not the most interesting of Jolene's companions. I think Foo Fighters was a lot cooler. And I actually don't think Hermes even gets all that much screen time. Like, aside from the fight with Sports Maximum, I can't really think of too many other ways she's super involved outside of like a few key moments in the final fight. So, I'm next at number 4, and again, probably pissing some people off here, Kakyoin. Kakyoin, in my opinion, is kind of a bland character. Most of the moments where he like really shines, he's either being impersonated with Yellow Temperance or he's under mind control with Dio. Like, the one episode I think he gets devoted to him is Death 13. And Death 13 is a really cool episode, but part 3 is really long, and it's like one episode in all of part 3. The thing about Kakyoin is, I honestly believe most people only care about Kakyoin because he's a teenager who died. I think that's it. I don't think people are super interested in Kakyoin being like this mirror to Jotaro, where Jotaro's like the delinquent, he's the bad boy, he's all that, whereas like, Kakyoin, he's well put together, shirt always tucked in, all that stuff. I just don't think he's that interesting. I think he's cool. I think Hierophant Green is a pretty cool stand. I don't think he really compares to everyone else on this list. At number 3, Guido Mista. I really like Mista. And it was a real toss-up for like which members of Passione besides Bruno would have been the main Jobro here. But I think it really is Mista. I think Giorno does have a really special connection with Mista. I think there are multiple scenes with Mista that really exemplify the kind of person that Giorno is. He's a motivator. He inspires hope. Like the scene where I think they're shooting down Chocolata, or when Mista's having the fight with Ice Dude, and Giorno picks him up. I think he has a lot of good moments with Mista. And Mista has a really good dynamic with his stand. I think Sex Pistols is a really, really cool stand. I like that they each have their own little personality. I like that Mista shot himself on average 4 times a day. And I like just all of his little personality quirks. I think he's just a cool character all around. But once again, maybe just a little bit below these other two. So before I get into 1 and 2, I just want to invite you to follow because I really want you to. I don't really have a good reason beyond that. So, for number 2, Okuyasu. I think that, like, in terms of friendship, Josuke and Okuyasu clear everyone else by far. He exemplifies the bro part of Jobro. Like, once Okuyasu is introduced, I think him and Josuke are pretty much always together. Like, so much more so than Josuke is with Koichi. There are so many, like, little arcs and episodes dedicated to Josuke and Okuyasu together. And Okuyasu, his backstory isn't explored much past his introduction, but, like, Red Hot Chili Peppers is mostly like an Okuyasu villain, more so than he is like a Josuke villain. And I think, you know, his dynamic with his dad is really cool. I think it's pretty interesting. The hand is a really cool stand. I like that it's sort of balanced out by Okuyasu being really dumb. I like Chef Tony. It's one of my favorite episodes in part 4. I like that, like, Okuyasu is just around and he contributes, like, a pretty good amount to, like, what's going on. I think he's just is really, really good. The issue is that number 1 from jump was always going to be Caesar. Caesar is such a fucking phenomenal character. I love Caesar so much. Caesar was like the first death in this series that I actually cared about. That's just a lie. I forgot about Jonathan. But Caesar's the first side character death that I actually cared about. And I think it's just because Caesar is such a, like, dynamic character. Like, he's not the only Jobro to be introduced a little bit antagonistic, but he holds on to it for the longest amount of time. I think you really get to see the progression of his relationship with Joseph. He starts off antagonistic, and then, you know, they train together, they grow closer, and by the end, you really see how much Joseph's, like, way of thinking and his brashness has really rubbed off on Caesar, and how that just ultimately just leads to Caesar's downfall. You also get to see how much Caesar and his strategic thinking and his, like, carefulness rubs off on Joseph. And the scene where, like, Joseph and Lisa find the remains of his fight is really, really heartbreaking. I know it's been memed to shit, but it's kind of sad. And I think the fact that it is so sad is why it's been memed to shit. Caesar is just such a fantastic, like, duo to Joseph that I don't think it was ever in the realm of possibility that he was not going to get instantly put on first. So once again, here are the final rankings. I'm going to try to put up part 2 tomorrow. Feel free to crucify me in the comments if you want, because I actually do kind of like reading it and its engagement. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts.